how this is going to go is Phoenix is going to play a relic weapon and then just keep hitting Burgund with it. Burgund has uh, vicious overgrowth and channel. I guess this hand is less weak to relic weapons, but in general, primal based decks don't have a lot of answers to relic weapons.
Mm-hmm. All right, Bergund here has got some early power. They've got that Channel the Tempest in hand. Vicious Overgrowth from the heavens, bring down, and a second Vicious Overgrowth. That's a sweet Channel the Tempest art. I like that.
Was maybe a pre-order promo or
Pre-order
something.
promo, something like that. That's how you next level your opponent. You get all your alternate arts and foils just to mess with them. All right, on the other side, Phoenix, we've got a Tavrod, we've got two Inquisitors Halberds, and we've got a Roland. So pretty solid there. They're still a Justice influence away from the Roland, but of course they can deploy one of the other three threat or the Tavrod. They're still a whole power away, but there's an exploit off the top. So even with having 2/3/2 in their factions, they're still a power and a faction away from playing their two threats in their hand. I guess that's what you get playing three factions.
Yeah. Burgund isn't having easy power either, though.
Mm-hmm. You don't
They are
can't. Are
missing.
you saying you can't cast a Channel the Tempest off one primal?
Yeah, you can't cast a wisdom either.
It's true.
Uh,
Phoenix going to take
which
that wisdom with the exploit.
I like that. Like the channel's so far away, and wisdom is what gets them to the channel. So Burgund drawing a primal and playing wisdom is one of the easiest ways for Phoenix to start falling behind.
Phoenix does draw the power there. It's able to deploy their Tavrod, and unfortunately for Bergun, there's really not much for them to do. They've got a couple spells they can cast, but not really. There's not really much they can do here. They're going to bring down that Tavrod, but that's not really a permanent answer, and a transpose to take care of that weapon. So milking what they can out of the cards they can cast, I guess.
Yeah. What do they get? Oh, they're
Oh,
getting a world pyre.
World Pyre out of the board. Okay, that'll help them cast some of these.
Uh, so for anyone who doesn't know, the amplify interaction with world pyre is you play the spell for free, and then you can amplify after that.
Okay, that's a good interaction to know. Here's Equalize. Probably not the best here.
No.
So one thing I did want to note, which we've seen with the site a little bit, this has been brought up a couple times. Unfortunately, the way that this works in game is that the card pools are not limited to Expedition on these direct challenges. Unfortunately, that's just a direwolf thing. There's nothing we can really do about that. So some of the options on the Speaking Circle and some of the other things you might see are going to be from all Throne instead of just from Expedition in these tournaments, just because these are direct challenges and they're not in game. So that will change some decisions a little bit, but just so everyone in chat is aware that that is something that might be a little bit different about these tournaments than in official Expedition games.
It's unfortunate, but overall, pretty minor.
Yeah.
It makes Circle a little better, though, I think, but more random.
Yeah. True. All right, Bergund going to bring down that other unit, but these relic weapons, Bergund not really having any answers for those relic weapons. I did, it did. I'm sure it wasn't all the damage, but it seems like the relic weapons did the majority of the damage that game. But of course, we know they were off to a slow start too. You can't you skip 2 or 3 turns of playing something, you're probably not going to win that game. So Phoenix is going to take that one 1-0 over the Bergund here, going into game two. So good start. Thank you for the
Burgund did
follow,
a
Prof
pretty good job
Monkeys.
for being stuck on uh, not much power. Like getting the equalize, saying this is how I get back into this. Didn't work out, but they took a good line.
All right, going into game two here. Phoenix up 1 game. Drosla, thank you so much for the raid. Really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone from the raid 5 minutes ago in Drosla's stream. Welcome. We are in round 4 of this Expedition tournament. So this is the last round of Swiss before our cut to the playoff, to the top 4. Welcome, everyone. Just telling our players here they're good to go. All right, and we got this hand
Hand is
for the
kind of
Burgund. Ugh, I don't know about that.
yeah. It if this is the first 7, you for sure send it back. I think I might even send it back as a 6
Yeah,
or to a 6. You just want power. You
I
have
guess you
card
have the
draw.
seek power, and you have yeah. Problem is, even after that
This
power,
is
you still have a 6/7/7 9 off the top of the deck. Eldav and
if it was
Eldav, thank you for the follow. Mormrock, thank you for the follow. Edgy, thank you for the follow. And Taysir of Rabia, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Sorry to cut you off there, Boxer. Go ahead.
uh, no worries. If it was 3 duels, maybe going for transpose to get World Pyre is a line, but it's 1 duel and 2 sigils, so World Pyre can't really bail you out this time.
Mm-hmm.
More power, that's good.
Drosla, thank you for the follow. Well, drawing a little bit of power here for the Burgund, so they're going to make it a game here. Again, these relic weapons. That transpose is going to take out that relic weapon here. Let's see what Phoenix has in hand. Deathwing there, and an Aijin here, and their last card is
Deathwing's
a Know Thy Enemy.
Deathwing's pretty scary in mid-range mirrors, but it's not really something the Burgund has to like. It's just dealing 2 a turn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's annoying, but it's not ending the game here. Ooh, warping that tower off the top. That's a nice benefit of it too, though.
Yeah, sites are well, I guess Speaking Circle does answer that, but in general,
Mm-hmm.
sites are annoying for control decks to deal with.
Yep. All right, just a symbol off the top. And as you mentioned, Speaking Circle is going to take that site. Reminder for those in chat: Speaking Circle says that the enemy player cannot have a site, so that's going to go straight up kill the tower on Phoenix's side. And let's see what the Burgund is choosing here. The first one is Forgotten Find. Play 2 power cards from your Void depleted. Reread. That's pretty good. Draw a spell from your Void. And Pyrotech Explosion. Deal 4 damage. Can't be stopped by Aegis.
Yeah, so that solves some of their problems. They're hoping for another power though. Uh, you generally want sites to stick around, but the Burgund really didn't have the luxury to wait.
Yeah, couldn't really have an option there. Just taking out that site and getting a spell out of it. Ooh, this Equalize is going to be great here, though. Well, great for the units, maybe not great for the cards in hand, but I think you probably stake out the units and next turn. Although then you're empty-handed, so tough decision there. But I
I
think you're gonna
think the
you're gonna have
Burgund,
to.
yeah, I think the Burgund, uh, probably well, actually, Silexes and Valkyrie Warp make it more complicated, but you'd think the control deck would do better in the top deck war, but these that Wind Chest deck has a lot of impactful cards.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
All right, here we go. Here's that Equalize. So with 1 card in hand, the Burgund is going to be able to keep 1. They're going to hold on to that Channel of the Tempest, but the important thing is they're going to be saving off the board and surviving another turn. All right, now they're going to use the World Pyre to fire off this Channel of the Tempest, so that'll be great. Draw a couple cards here. Wisdom of the Elders as well. Can't cast that this turn, but Vicious Overgrowth as well. So not a ton there, but they can fire it off again with Wisdom here. 3/3 flyer for Phoenix. Wisdom's going to find a Speaking Circle and Equalize. That's what Burgund wanted to see.
yeah, they do they have any life gain? check.
Oh,
Uh,
don't think so. They do have armor from the weapons, and they could get something off of Speaking Circle, but I don't think they have anything naturally. All right,
big
know thy
relic
enemy, just
weapons.
going to draw an Aijin, but that's, yeah, big relic weapons will do it. All right, Bergund going to use World Pyre to cast from the heavens, and they're going to amplify. I like that interaction. I'm glad you brought up that interaction with the amplify and the World Pyre. That's great for from the heavens. Use to spend 4 to cast from the heavens, but then amplify it to get your Valkyrie. That's a sweet interaction. And the Bergund has turned this around a little bit, being able to take out all of Phoenix's unit, make them essentially empty-handed, make 2/2 Valkyries, and then now get a Speaking Circle down. We've got an Elaz's Choice, a Decay, and a Calibrate. Fire off that Calibrate first here.
Those are some pretty good hits. Yeah, the Calibrate could have found a great sword. The Decay kills any enemy relic weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
And Ijin, but that's not going to be amazing here.
are we seeing uh, Severin?
Yeah,
Yeah, we're seeing.
Severin there, yep. The Bergund, this was a really impressive way to turn this around. They were essentially facing lethal not too long ago. Don't forget they had lethal. Phoenix had lethal on board. The Bergund, with not really many hands in hand, was able to turn this around with that equalize, followed up that World Pyre equalize, followed up with Speaking Circle. They've really turned this around from being, and there you go. They're going to take it 1-1. Impressive comeback there by Bergund.
TheBergund is an expert at playing these types of control decks. Uh, if you look at their tournament history and what they have posted on Eternal Warcry, it's control deck after control deck after control deck. Uh, so they see the patterns. They know how these games go. It's a new format. It's new cards.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but it's a familiar type of matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if you ever want to go back and learn learn some control experience there, go ahead and watch that. They put on a clinic there. That was impressive. All right, going down to game 3 here. Thank you for Anumi's Dursos, Gorkov 52, and Suswasser Fish for the follow. Boxer, if you ever need to feel dumb for a second, you can try to read the names of people that follow, and yeah, sure, it sure keeps you in check as I struggle through those. All right, this is game 3 between Phoenix and the Bergund here. All right, and the winner of this should lock themselves in a really good position for top 4 here. So pretty good hand here for Burgund, I think. It's a little light on power, but they do have a Seek Power, a Wisdom, a Vicious Overgrowth, Dazzle, and Equalize. So it seems like it's the right balance, though, of early interaction, some card draw to get themselves to the key being transition yourself from the early game to the late game. Seems like their hand is set up to do that.
I like this a lot. Wisdom and research are, I think, two of the most important cards to have in an opening hand, which we didn't actually. Well, we saw wisdom last. Wait, yeah, wisdom both of the last two
Mm-hmm.
games, but it's not the. They never cast those, but
Right. All right, and then I'll try to get Phoenix's hand here too.
Hazel's not doing a ton, but you can't really complain when you have all the other kinds of cards you want.
Mm-hmm. He's a miner's musket there. All right, and taking a look at Phoenix's hand, we've got 3 power, we've got a Tavrod, a heavy artillery, and a Deathwing. So pretty much the standard hand we've seen from this deck a little bit. Deathwing, Tavrod, and Relic Weapon, as well as 3 power plus a Silex. Although Argenport Silex won't be able to draw your treasure trove until next turn. Bergund just going to fire off the Wisdom here.
drawing their cards, saying this isn't forcing my hand yet on playing removal. You got to be pretty happy if you're seeing your opponent play treasure troves if you're in Bergund's seat.
Yeah, for sure. Drawing treasure troves off to Silex has been incredibly powerful, and there's no doubt about that. But in the key turns where you're looking for action or trying to develop your board and trying to pull ahead, just firing off treasure troves for your turn is not really what you need to be doing to pull yourself ahead. So Burgund, who's trying to get to the late game, has got to be pretty happy about that. Anytime Phoenix can pass the turn with just playing some treasure troves is great for them. Going to deal 2 and then attack with the weapon here, but Burgund's happy to take 4 at this point.
So that's interesting there. They're waiting to gain more information on that research, but they could have fired that off because transpose is in their deck, and I think they would have liked to play a transpose there.
Mm-hmm. And take out the musket, yeah. There's the transpose. One card too deep, so they wouldn't have seen it anyway, but one card deeper there.
Equalize, yeah. You don't get any cards out of their hand, but you clear the board.
All right, Phoenix here going to fire off an exploit. And Burgundy going to dazzle that. All right.
Yeah, not a ton of target,
Hmm.
so pretty happy to be playing that dazzle. Uh, the other option was playing the transpose
Yeah, was there
to
any
get an
thought in playing the
Aegis.
transpose to get the Aegis to block that and deal 1 to the musket?
Uh, so I
Well, here's a new musket for 7, and that's actually going to put Burgund down to 8. So getting some damage on. We know Burgund's hand is good. And they're going to fire off a speaking circle here. Let's see what they grab. Abduct for the first one, discarding unit of their choice. Sharpen Reflex, units +1/+1 Scout, probably not quite as useful. And Form Bend, transform a unit or relic into an elemental with its cost. Okay.
I think the reason they played the transpose is or not they played the dazzle is they wanted to plunder. They wanted to set up that great sword.
Mm-hmm.
They just happened to draw a speaking circle, which ended up being better.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, it worked out for them because they were able to get the speaking circle and then also transpose the 7/1 musket instead of the 2/1 musket. So definitely actually worked out better for the Burgund the way that played out. And Phoenix going to go ahead and play out a Deathwing here. But as we've seen before, going to have to answer that speaking circle because Queen of Glass is a real threat. Okay, here's a Blazing Salvo for Phoenix. Wonder what they're going to grab from the market. Passionate
They
Stone came
have
in here. Oh, okay. So this has charge, right? Oh, it does not have charge.
uh,
Flying Berserk Reckless. Okay, Flying Berserk and Reckless. No charge, so they cannot take that out this turn. My apologies.
it has all the battle skills except the ones you think it has.
Yeah, exactly. And here comes the Massive
Uh,
Greatsword to take care of the Deathwing. And using that Form
oh,
Bend
that
to just turn that unit into a 2/2 elemental, which actually means it does not have the berserk, so it cannot take out the speaking circle. So nice to get some value off of a Form Bend there.
yeah, you have to think on your feet when you see the cards off of Speaking Circle because it's often going to be new interactions.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's a good point.
you know,
That's a good test of a good player to be able to adapt on your feet and see how these synergies will work together for sure. All right,
this
here
isn't
comes.
over though. Uh, that overwhelm relic weapon is pretty scary.
All right, sure is. And that's going to take out the Wasteland Broker, deal 1 damage. And Phoenix, thankful to avoid that Queen of Glass, is going to take out the Speaking Circle here, leave a 2/2 behind. And unfortunately for the Bergund, they have nothing in hand. They have a Silex that can draw a card, but that was it. That Speaking Circle was what they had going for them. And now they're essentially empty-handed. They're going to get a card off the top of the deck and refill with the Silex. Well, a Severn's a good one to have off the top of the deck. Severn into Silex into double trigger into draw a card. That's pretty good.
The other option, uh, is a kind of interesting choice here because, drawing the card with Silex is great and, it paid off here, but the other choice was play the symbol and say, I want my Trove to be able to possibly draw into a
Mm,
Grief next turn.
yeah, that's a good point. Wait on the Trove so you get an extra draw at a Grief. Good point. Another Severin off that Treasure Trove, though.
Yeah, some great back and forth here.
Absolutely.
Burgund was ahead. Phoenix got back in it with that relic weapon,
And
and then Severin off the top.
there's a Grief off the top, and here's the second Severin, and this is going to be 4 Griefs here. 4 more Griefs plus the one off the top. That's 5 Griefs this turn. Oof. Phoenix shaking
Seemingly
their head.
three
That is not what they wanted to see here. They thought they had this game in the bag. That's tough. So close. But that's going to put Burgund back up to 29 and put 4 Griefs back into the deck here. And I don't know what Phoenix has to take care of 2 Severins.
Equalize doesn't do it here.
Yeah, and Equalize
Uh,
doesn't do it. I'm going to start off Silex into Treasure Trove. Attack in for 5. All right, here's a Know Thy Enemy. Attacking with that 2/2 because he was going to die anyway. Okay, here comes a Roland, but don't think that's going to be enough at this point. Plus with a Grief, that should be plenty. Yep, plus another Dust Symbol. Yep, that's not going to be enough. TheBergund going down. Again, we saw them going down to pretty low life total, but like you said, an expert control player was able to get those Severins. I think they had essentially an empty hand with 3 power, but then was able to draw back-to-back Severins there, setting themselves up for a good comeback there. And Burgund is going to take that 2-1. So congratulations on the Burgund going up to 3-1 in the tournament and setting themselves up, looking really nice for this top.